Hi guys, my name is Abby and welcome to my channel. I spend an awful amount of time on Reddit. It's not healthy actually. But I figured why not share it with you guys? Because there are some crazy stories out there. And today we will be getting started with the subreddit Am I the Asshole? And today our video is going to be focusing on this title, which says, Am I the asshole for getting mad at a girl for not revealing she was trans? Let's get into it. Okay, so here it goes. So basically, I met this girl on Tinder and we instantly had an amazing connection. I have met lots of people off the app, and I can tell you, I have never wanted someone as badly as I wanted her before actually meeting in real life. Oh, wow. I love when that happens, like making an instant connection. You just know that when you meet in person, about to be lit. Anyways, let's keep going. Due to life circumstances getting in the way, we chatted nonstop for 2 weeks. Conversation about everything, our traumas, hopes and dreams, our childhood stories, our secrets. Needless to say, I was falling hard for her and I was super anxious to meet up. Hmm. The night before our first date, I could hardly fall asleep, and she felt the exact same way about me. Okay, I like that. Also, it's worth mentioning that we had been sexting, really hardcore for days before our date. And basically, there was the assumption that we would absolutely ravish each other the second we met. Oh, he said ravish. I didn't even know people actually use that in real life. I've only ever seen that word used in like romance novels or whatever. But okay, I love that for him. Okay. She was really forward and sexually aggressive in her communication with me. Okay. Fast forward to our date, and the first moments go exactly as I had been dreaming about those precious previous weeks. We are really into each other and start making out. And that's when I noticed she had a penis. Okay, okay. I stopped everything and I asked her, So you're trans? And she basically said that we had such a special connection. She was afraid of telling me earlier because she didn't want to ruin things. And that since I am bisexual, she assumed I wouldn't mind. Oh, girl. Okay. Nothing wrong with being trans here, but I definitely do feel like that's where she screwed up, right? Like, it's a consent thing, right? Like, some people are not cool with that. You could be bisexual but not want to be with someone that is transgender. And that's perfectly okay. Everybody has a preference, just how like a straight person likes, just or a straight woman likes a skinny dude, or she likes a chunky man, or she likes a muscly guy. It's just the same way. A bisexual person could either go either way and want to be with both women, men, and trans, or just want to be with just men and women, but not transgender. That's perfectly okay, right? Make an assumption, it's not good. And honestly, in my opinion, a little dangerous because, like, what if you end up hooking up with the wrong person and they have like anger issues or whatever? And we all know the statistics about like the statistics of trans people being killed off or whatever, you know what I'm saying? That's actually very risky what she did here. Anyways, back to it. So OP says, I was instantly floored. Despite being bisexual, I am not sexually attracted by trans women at all. See, that's what I'm saying right there. Like, it goes either way, right? It's either or. It might be, it might not be. In this case, OP does not seem to be into trans women, and that's perfectly okay. We all have our types. It has nothing to do with not viewing them as real women, but there is something about the idea of a woman with a dick that's just off putting for me. and it's totally not my thing. I then instantly made some distance between us. I was respectful to her at all times, but I told her I needed to go home and process all this information before I could truly have any reaction. That's fair. And I love the way OP reacted in this situation, took himself out of that situation. I was like, okay, I'm just, before I react the wrong way. That I respect OP for that, because some people would not, and I'm not saying that that's right, but some people would not react in this way. They would react in a violent way, right? So I really respect OP for that. So he says, on my drive home, I started getting really mad. If we hadn't been sexting, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. She doesn't owe me anything. That is very true. But once it starts to get into like the sexual part of it, you definitely 100% need to let them know. It's a consent thing. It really is. Honestly, it really is, you know? But the fact that we were obviously going to F each other, how could she hide something like that from me and not give me the right to know beforehand? I feel really stupid for having constructed this fairy tale in my head for 2 whole weeks because she didn't bother to tell me this obvious, relevant fact. It was a terrible feeling. And to be honest, I am still really effing crushed about it. I got home and texted her, thanking her for the date, but I was disappointed and pissed she didn't tell me before and that it wasn't going to work out. She then proceeded to get angry with me, told me I was being irrational and transphobic and whatnot. So tell me, Reddit, am I the asshole? Okay. I personally do not think that OP is the asshole here. I think that he's perfectly justified to feel the way he's feeling because honestly, like I said, this is a constant thing. Because he's bisexual does not automatically give you the assumption or the right to make the assumption that he's going to be okay with wanting to be with a transgender person, right? So I definitely do not think that OP is overreacting here or the also here. I don't think so. I think she is the also in the situation. And I do understand that she probably was scared that if she had told him earlier, it might ruin things before, they could. But I feel like she owed him, letting him know so he knows what he's getting himself into and then he can make that decision for himself. But she took that away from him when she did not tell him, right? Okay, but let's hear what other Redditors have to say about this. Okay, so someone here said, not the asshole. It sounds like you handled it as well as you could have. People are not transphobic for not wanting to be intimate with someone trans. Exactly. Her not telling you ahead of time was dishonest, a bad sign for any relationship. And it also prevented you from knowing what you were consenting to. There we go. It's all about consent here. It really is. Because she took that away from him. She didn't even give him the opportunity to make up his mind if he wanted that or not. So OP says, that's interesting about consent. And it's one of the reasons I got so angry. I definitely didn't consent to being intimate with a trans woman. And I feel kind of weird about all the sexting I did with her with the assumption that she was biologically female. Maybe it was my fault for having assumed in the first place, but a part of me feels like my trust was violated. And I 100% relate, like, okay, I don't relate, but I completely understand what OP is saying here because he's right. Like, his consent was taken away from him. Like, I would feel violated if it was me as well because, like, I was not given that option to decide for myself, right? Or in this case, OP was not given that option to make that decision for himself if he wanted to be in that situation or not. And she took that away from him. Um, Another person here said, okay, so they were commenting on OP's response about maybe it was my fault for not having assumed in the first place. And this person said, no, it's not your fault because like 99% of women are biologically women. So of course that is the assumption. What are you supposed to do? Go through your day-to-day life wondering if every woman in the room has a dick? and every man in the room has a vagina? Are you supposed to go through life never assuming what's in someone's pants based on how they present, even though you'd be right like 995 out of 1,000 times? No, we don't work that way. And that's absolutely true. There is no way for you to make that assumption. Not generally, you see a female presenting woman, you automatically assume, okay, she's a woman until they tell you otherwise, right? Because that's what they were presenting as. And it is now up to them, especially if they're trying to get into a sexual situation with you, to let you know before you get into that situation. And I feel like this person really messed up in that aspect. Like, I get it's not an easy thing to tell people, but if it's something that you are now going into the sexual territory, you definitely 100% need to let them know so they can make that decision for themselves if they want to be in that, if they want to, you know, have that with you or not. And I definitely 100% feel like, no, 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 OP is not the also here. Another person here said, agreed, not the also. He pretty much handled it perfectly. If he screamed and threw a tantrum, then he would be the also. But he was calm and collected around her. He owes her nothing. There we go. He really doesn't. If anything, she owes him an apology. He owes her nothing because he really handled it as well and as best as he could have in that situation, in that moment. I think he did everything right. Took yourself out of that situation, took the time to calm down before you then talk to her and let her know your reasons. Now to then start claiming that he's transphobic because he doesn't want to have sexual relations with you is absolutely ridiculous, because not everybody wants to do that. It's kind of like a gay man saying, oh, a straight man is being what's the word, oh my gosh, I can't even remember the word. For not wanting to sleep with him, it's basically the same thing here. So it's absolutely ridiculous to say he's being transphobic because he doesn't want to have a sexual relation with her. So 100% I do not think that OP is being the also in the situation. And the verdict here from Reddit is that OP is not the asshole. Now, let me know in the comment section below what you guys' opinion is. If your opinion is different from mine, and let's know your reasons. Like this, this is a room to communicate. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time in my next video. And please do not forget to hit the subscribe button and have a lovely rest of your day. Bye.